What's up, Facebook Live? This is Lisa Respers France here for CNN Entertainment. I'm here. You're going to love these guys. This is Richard Speight.
Yes, it is.
And Rob Benedict. You recognize them. They act in everything. They have a new show coming out called Kings of Con. That's going to be streaming on Comic-Con's streaming, right?
Yeah. Right. Comic-Con HQ.
Comic-Con HQ. We're super excited. November 15th. Look out for it. So you got to tell me, how did you guys first meet?
Okay, Robbie and I were both actors on the show Supernatural, which has been on the CW for coming on 12 seasons now, so a long time. And it's had an equally long-running convention circuit. And Robbie and I have been mainstays on that circuit as guests for a long time, and met there, started hanging out there, started working on stage together, and through our travels and trials and tribulations realized there's a lot of goofy crap that happens at conventions, and it's always backstage with the actors. Because the fans are really nice, normal people who are very dialed in. The actors are train wrecks, and we decided we should tell that story.
Let's make a show about this.
Exactly.
We need some train wreck stories.
Darn right. Well, we're here to provide. And actually, a lot of times we're driving the train.
Really?
Sadly, we are. So, we realized we had similar sensibilities as writers and performers, and we're enjoying the same experiences on the road, and thought we should team up, write this story. It's loosely based on our real experiences. Rob plays Rob. I play Rich. But the fact of the matter is, it's inflated versions of our personality. It's really fictionalized, comedic angles on the reality of being behind the scenes at a fan convention.
So there wasn't really a breakup in a relationship?
No.
Well, from the beginning, we've been going through a slow breakup.
Well, he and I are no longer together. But
I'm sad to hear that.
No. We've fabricated a lot of those things much to the chagrin of our wives, who thought the marriages were intact.
Right.
Yeah, no,
we thought it'd be, again, it's a characterized versions of ourselves. We thought it'd be fitting that Rich has been married 3 times, and I'm going through a divorce. And it sort of ups the stakes of where these two guys are at in their lives, and why they sort of feel the need to sort of keep doing the conventions where they actually feel a connection, in spite of the fact that they're troubled young men.
It's the same way that Larry David took his own personality and built a fictionalized world around it. That's what we've done with Kings of Con.
Well, we know that there are some convention fans here, out there in Facebook Live land. So you got tons of questions. That's why we're here. We're here for your Facebook Live questions. I'm going to be looking at my phone. I promise you, I'm not being rude. I'm actually checking to see if any questions come in.
This is the only time we'll allow it.
This is an exclusive, people. Get into it. I know you have questions for Richard and Rob, so let's go. Let's hear it. One of the questions I have is, were you guys into conventions before you had to do it for work?
No.
No. I never been to a convention or done a convention of any sort. And the Supernatural conventions are, under themselves, a really unique experience, different, I think, than even Comic-Con. The fans are so loyal, and every city we go to, all over the world, and there'll be a couple thousand people there who just diehard fans of the show, and in spite of the fact that Richard and I have done just a handful of episodes,
right?
They're so loyal, and there's a lot of love at these conventions. It's really a great thing. It's been a great thing for Rich and I.
It is. I tell people, if you ever get the opportunity to go to a hotel full of people who are excited to see you, do it.
Do it.
It's a good experience. Supernatural is interesting, as Rob was saying, because the conventions we do are only for Supernatural. And we've done Comic-Con, and we love Comic-Con, and that's an awesome place to go and meet and greet other people in other mediums. But Supernatural is just conventions. It has a passionate enough audience to sustain conventions by itself. So when we go to Supernatural conventions, there's no other shows represented. It's just us and our buddies. We've come to know these actors really well, a lot of whom are in the show because we're all attached at the hip and know each other's ins and outs really well. And we see a lot of the same faces in the crowd. We see a lot of familiar fans.
We feel really like we're a traveling circus, like about every other weekend we're in a different city.
And this weekend we're in Atlanta,
Georgia.
Woo!
We're here.
Way to go, Atlanta.
Right. First time in Atlanta, by the way.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to turn Robbie on to boiled peanuts. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a Southerner. So I belong here. He's visiting. And you're welcome.
I was born in a state way off.
We can't even find it on a map.
Called Missouri.
But it's nice to have you down here.
Yeah.
You're just as welcome as the flowers in May.
Well, thank you.
We're fixing to show you a good time.
Yeah. No.
Fitting to.
Fitting to.
In Atlanta, we're fitting to show you.
Fitting to show you a good time.
That's right.
Robbie, pronounce for the people, just to prove how Southern you are. What's that plant that grows up on the telephone poles?
Kudzu.
Finally.
He's
been saying kazoo for, it's like he's confusing it with a kazoo.
Just now when I said it, I wasn't sure if I was right.
I saw you go red.
Kudzu. offensive.
Please don't offend the South. So anyway, I'm excited about him having some hillbilly edamame, which is the boiled peanut, because it's my favorite snack food. My father and I vacationed in Georgia every year. My whole family did. But my dad and I would drive down, stop at a cauldron, buy a bag of boiled peanuts, eat them, pull over, buy another bag. I'm infatuated with this food. He's never had one. Not only are we Facebook Living this, but I plan to film him having his first boiled peanut experience.
There you go.
I feel like you should Facebook Live that. I would watch that.
You know what? So do I, Robbie.
Let's do it.
Make
Done.
it happen. Make it
Done.
happen.
Done.
And we want you to make it happen with your questions here on our Facebook Live. We're so excited to have them here. First question then is, what do you think is the biggest difference between Kings of Con versus anything else that you filmed?
Oh, well, interesting. The difference here is this is all born out of the brains of Rob and Rich. I mean, Robbie and I have been blessed to be working on a lot of different projects over our careers, but
This is the first time.
This is ours.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We actually get to say, you know, for better or for worse, we're the ones that it comes down to. Should we do it this way? Should we do it that way? And it's been great for us. It's been, you know, it started like 4 years ago maybe as an idea that we wanted to do this, and to see it come to fruition, it's so gratifying to see something that you had as an idea way up here, and now it's, you know, now we can tell people November 15th it's happening.
And that's what's so great, because Robbie and I had the idea and have both been working on various aspects of TV and film for years and years and years. We're finally be able to put all those skills to bear on this project. We're writers, directors, musicians, do all these things. So it's one-stop shopping, you know, for the Rob and Rich production studio. So we were able to put the whole thing together, and, you know, thanks to Lionsgate and Comic-Con HQ coming on and sort of giving us the fundage we needed to pull it off, it's been an amazing experience. You know, we've been in situations on set wearing costumes that are not flattering. And we would look at each other and say, "Who's the a-hole who wrote the?" Oh, we did.
That's us.
We have only ourselves to blame.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Sometimes barely any costume at all.
yeah, the buck stops with us, and sometimes we're mad at the buck. You know?
Well, it's a single camera comedy, correct?
It is.
Those are really hot right now.
Well, you know, we got our finger on the pulse. We're young and hip, can't you tell?
Yeah.
We
It's going to be on the interweb.
Can't wait to watch that on the interweb.
Robbie and I wanted to tell the story that way. That's the kind of comedy we're into. I mean, that's, you know, the Louis C.K. Broad City style,
30 Rock.
30 Rock, even going back to like Party Down and those shows that have just been so funny over the last, 10 years. That's the style that we're drawn to. And so that's the way we want to tell the story. It's not done as a mockumentary. It's not done as a, any kind of reality or even faux reality. It's straight up good old fashioned single camera comedy shot as such and done as such. And I think it's that world and this style of filmmaking work well together.
And see, I was going to ask that. I was going to ask, why not just do a reality show?
Because, I mean, look, reality show is a format that a lot of people enjoy watching and producing. For me, Robbie and I are storytellers, and the idea of storytelling in unscripted form is different than storytelling in editable form. When you do a reality show, you're shooting a bunch of footage, then finding the story in the edit bay. For us, we wanted to craft the stories and the characters we wanted beforehand, and then execute that filmically in the style we thought was best in sort of mining the comedy of this world. It's the medium I'm more attracted to, and I think Robbie as well.
Absolutely, and it's also fun, to go, all right, here's a little nugget of truth, something that happened, which is a great way to start writing from, and then you can just, using your imagination and sort of sense of comedy, take it to this realm that it didn't actually go to,
right?
And it's fun, and it's ultimately, I think, more interesting and funnier. But it's so our show is based on nuggets of reality, but it becomes this other thing, and again, that's a medium we really like, and shows that we really like are like that, like Larry David, Curb Your Enthusiasm. That's kind of show that we're like kind of aiming to be.
You're not hindered by what actually happened, what you actually filmed when you're writing your own show. We can come up with whatever idea we can come up with. And then it's on us to figure out how to film it. But we can tell whatever story we want, as opposed to being limited by, what's actually going on or where we actually are, or who we're actually with. So
at the same time, it's the fact that it is based on nuggets of reality. You can use that to your advantage. For example, there's a scene based on a real story where I dialed Rich's hotel room. He was in room 911, and I dialed it without pressing the number to get out of the hotel. So I dialed 911, and I'm talking to a 911 operator that I think is Rich. I'm like, come on, Rich, just stop it with the bit. Like, are we getting a beer or what's going on? And like, what's your emergency? I'm like, I realized what I'd done, and I hung up, and I was like, oh God, and I went down to his room, 911, and I knocked on the door, and I was like, Rich, I think I did something really bad, and we were talking about it. I'm really nervous, and then boom, 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 there's a knock on the door, and it's the cops. Like literally, this really happened. There's a real story. We were in New Jersey, and that happened. And then in our show, then it goes crazy places. But we turned that story in to Lionsgate and Comic-Con, who produced the show, and they're like, I don't think the cop would actually come to the door. We're like, no.
Oh, Chief, it happened. You might not think that, and that's legit, but it happened.
Yeah.
Love it. We have another question. Will the entire King of Con series be available on November 15th? Are people going to be able to watch it all at once?
We are rolling it out week by week. So on November 15th, the first 2 episodes will drop. Drop. That's what the kids say.
Yeah.
Yes. The kids say drop.
Not drop.
Yeah.
So if you drop it, we're going to pick it back up
Right.
and put it back on the interwebs. No, we got episodes 1 and 2 will launch, and then after that, every week there'll be a new and exciting episode.
Yeah, so it's rolled out like a traditional TV show would be rolled out. New episode every week, and there are 10 episodes total.
You won't be able to binge, people, but it'll be worth the wait. Trust me.
Although they'll still be there, so
Yeah.
after you watch the whole series, you can go back and binge then.
That's right.
See, look.
Best of both worlds.
Right. Lemonade.
You're welcome.
You just made lemonade,
I
sir.
know, I did.
Well, you're here at CNN. We're in debate
Tell me about
mode.
it.
We're in debate mode.
Yes.
I got to ask the tough questions like I was Anderson Cooper. These folks who attend the con, nerds or geeks?
Neither. Physicists, doctors, first responders, very, very bright, driven people who happen to have a hobby that involves either a TV show or a book or some sort of medium that has a convention following. But we are really, really, really blessed with an incredibly diverse from where they live to the socioeconomic background of these people and their careers and what they do. A crowd who loves this show and supports it and supports the people who do it. If we didn't have that crowd, we wouldn't have this show because we launched a lot of our initial fundraising efforts on Indiegogo, which was a crowdfunding campaign. So they've been incredibly supportive of what we do in terms of our Kings of Con, what the other actors do in terms of charities. We have a really, really great fan base. And I think what you said is interesting because that is a lot of what people think, and they think of conventions. They have, if they've never been to one, there's a little bit of a stereotype that goes along with it, which is, oh, aren't these, sort of fringe folks who, this is their social life? And the answer is they're no more fringe than anybody who has a fantasy football team or who, Mark Shepard, who's one of the actors on the show, always says he doesn't trust somebody who's not a fan of something. We're all fans of something, whether it be a band or a book or a movie or a TV show or a sports team. And these people are fans of something that we're involved in, so we benefit from their passion. But no, we're really always very impressed by the caliber of people that are drawn to the show and that show up to the conventions and support what we do.
Yeah, and that's why we're in our show. We kind of call attention to the actors themselves. Like they're the geeks, they're the freaks, the basket cases. I mean, in real life, we have these meet and greets where we go around the table and everybody says what the fans of the show are there, what they do for a living, and we're always blown away. By the time it gets us, we're like, I'm an actor.
Oh man, it never felt more useless than in a meet and greet. Once you go around the fans, you come in going, "Hey, how we doing?
Yeah.
I'm the big guy.
I'm here.
What do you do?"
Let's
You're like,
do this.
You're working with children and you're curing cancer and you
Work for the
save
government.
people. Oh God, I have no reason to be here.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, you talk about the passion of the fans. Are there con groupies? And will we see some of that on the show?
Well, there are a lot of fans that we see often. I don't know if that makes them groupies or not, but they certainly are frequent guests,
Yeah.
if you will. We dip into the fan world a little bit on the show, but be honest, that is very peripheral to the story we're telling, which is the behind the scenes. I always draw the parallel to 30 Rock, because 30 Rock is about a variety show. But you really don't deal with the variety show. You deal with how the sausage is made behind the scenes, the people who are making that show, and that's where the comedy is mined, and that's where our comedy is mined. It's behind the scenes, in the green rooms, in the kitchens, in the hotels, in the bars, in the car services of the actors who are actually supposed to be up there entertaining people. And you get a little glimpse of that throughout the series, but it's really about what kind of mess are they making behind the scenes.
Yeah, and we there are a couple of recurring fan characters because we do see a lot of the same people at shows, but we're so familiar with those people now that even like on our show, the joke is that they're like, they didn't really need our picture or anything. They're like, yeah, what's up, guys?
It is kind of funny. I mean, we've done so many conventions, Robbie and I have in real life, And there are certain fans who've done a lot of them themselves that they'll be so excited by a new guest, like, oh my God, I get it! Hey, Robbie.
How's the family?
Yeah.
Good? Things are good?
Two cream in the coffee? Got it. You're like, so there's certainly a familiarity with those of us who've been on the road together. I would imagine it was no different than for the Grateful Dead or somebody where they'd see the same fans all the time.
Yeah, I was going to say that because I've followed bands around. I'm a big music fan, and I always think that, like, they're definitely, I even know guys who've, like, gone to, like, followed a baseball team around, and it's like that.
Let's check. I think we have some more questions for you guys here at this Facebook Live.
All right.
What did you both learn about comedy as you wrote and filmed the show?
Well, one of the things I learned that I thought was going to be the case, so it wasn't a surprise, was that Robbie and I work really well together as a comedic team. We had done a lot of live stage stuff at conventions, which is largely improv and goofing around, and we knew that our sensibilities were simpatico. And then we wrote the episodes together, and that also went very smoothly. But when we actually got up on our feet and started doing it, with the schedule, with the crew, and taking those written lines and bringing them to life, we realized that what we had thought was going to worked, and that was really awesome.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time working on this script, and you write it. I would send it to Rich. Rich would do edits, send it back to you. We'd read it out loud. We go, and you kind of know when that's it, when it's funny, that's gonna work. And then we hired actors that we love, people that we've played with before, worked with before, and then they come in and they get it. You hire people who get it. I mean, I guess that's what I learned about it, was that there's a certain comedy's like playing music sometimes, and you look at, you read, and you go, okay, got it. This is my thing. All right, I'm going to play it this way, and and it just all works. We were really, really pleased with how the actors took to the script.
Yeah, one of the things you say is back to the point of Robbie and I running the show, which is it was really fun to write roles for people, or write roles and then be inspired by somebody, and just call that person up and say, you want to come do this? We didn't have to go through any chain of command because we were the pointy end of the bayonet. So we could pretty much reach out to anybody we wanted to reach out to, friend or stranger, to see if they were interested, because there wasn't really anybody looking over our shoulder.
And they could be like, who dis?
Yeah.
And we'd be all, I remember we
Hey,
were
Robbie
on
and
that
Richie.
thing, and they were like, don't call me anymore.
I don't know, Robbie and Richie. Click.
Well, I know you guys don't want to reveal too much about the guest stars this season. I'm already going to look ahead to season 2 and say, who's your dream guest for season 2?
Ooh, Gary Oldman.
Wow.
I mean, only because I want to meet Gary Oldman. I mean, honestly, I don't think of Gary Oldman as being hilarious.
So we're going into fantasy
maybe,
world.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to, Robbie, it's our show.
Jeff Bridges.
It's our show, Robbie. We can do what we want.
Okay. Hey, Jeff.
In fact, in the movie version, we should be played by Gary Oldman and Jeff Bridges.
Totally.
It'll be a touching, heartfelt drama, but
Oldman,
nonetheless.
I think Oldman would play me.
Oldman?
Yeah.
He could probably maybe get that accent.
Yeah.
That Missouri, that confusing Missouri.
That kudzu.
That kudzu.
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 He can do that sequence where you drink sweet tea and have a fit.
Yeah.
Literally, he had sweet tea, and I thought he was having some kind of internal spasm. He's like, I had to take a knee.
That sugar will do it to you.
Too sweet, Rich.
Nobody told me.
Wait, too sweet, Rich.
Goodness. That ain't sugar.
Where's the tea? Where's the tea? They forget the tea, Rich. It's all sweet.
But we're blessed. We've worked with a lot of great people in our careers, and we've talked about people that weren't in this season who couldn't do this season that we want to get for next year.
Aim high.
Peter Dinklage is a friend of mine.
Oh yeah,
that's off doing some show on HBO, but
little thing called Game of Thrones.
yeah, something like that.
Small.
I love
big
it.
deal.
Fingers crossed it catches
Fingers,
on.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
a great
yeah,
idea.
It is a tremendous idea.
But we'd love to get
I'm
him
not.
on the
I don't
show.
love. I don't love game shows, so I probably won't watch
Right.
Game of
You won't
Thrones.
be into
Right.
it. You won't enjoy it at all.
Right. It's about Thrones.
Who's gonna win this week's
And
Game of
behind
Thrones?
this throne. Anyway, Pete would be someone we'd love to get. We'd love to get your Homeland, Betty.
Damian Lewis. Damian Lewis. He and I did Band of Brothers together, and when you think Damian Lewis and Band of Brothers and Homeland, you just start laughing.
Yes,
I mean,
it's
because he is a
hilarious. Feel-good
comedy guy.
But he actually is.
He consistently reminds me when we were reaching out to Damian for this season. He kept reminding me, I don't do comedy, right? I'm like, listen. I'll decide who does comedy. It's my comedy. I'll decide who does comedy. So those are a couple of guys we'd like to get involved in, and a slew of others.
Yeah.
Robbie.
Well, when you guys do your filming here in Atlanta, because we have a famous convention, I'll totally do a walk-on.
There you
I
go.
mean,
Right.
I'm going to just go ahead and
You
volunteer.
just saved this from getting really awkward because that was my next question.
See,
I'm
I know. I knew it. I knew you could see the star in me.
Yeah,
I knew
well,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Totally. This has been so great.
Ink it. Oh, it's great. Were you kidding? Or I'm kidding the candy store. I'm at CNN. It's just true. I've been running around getting selfies in front of random people who are trying to do their job.
We did run into Robin Meade. That's a true story.
That was awesome. And the people are at their computer doing stuff, and I'm doing selfies, and like, this just in. Leave me alone.
Like,
Breaking news. You're in my way.
they're like, that's not really Wolf Blitzer. That's just a picture of him.
What up? Well, these guys are hilarious, and we know that you're going to want to watch more of them on November 15th when Kings of Con premieres. Cannot wait for it. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us. It's awesome.
What a
Loved it.
blast.